Bitcoins and beer, bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and raves and rants. He is here drinking beer, spilling bitcoins on his pants. Hello, it's me, Norm, again. And I'm here once again to talk about bitcoins. But first, we must introduce the beer. The beer is Red Tail Ale by Mendocino Brewery. They're out of Ukiah, California, up north from me, way north. They have a great little brew pub in Hopland. So if you are in Hopland, California, check out the little brew pub. I actually have a video about it on one of my other YouTube channels called Beer Expedition. So check that out. So, on to the rant. Today first of all, let's talk about the price of Bitcoin. Ooh, it's been brutal since the last time I talked about Bitcoin. When the price and the value are two different things, to me anyway. And a lot of people really don't understand the difference between price and value. And I explained that in my that was my first rant, and it was probably really drunken, a lot more drunk than I am now. To tell you the truth. I explained how value is subjective, and price and value are two different things. But yeah, the price dropped. Oh boy, it dropped big. And then it rose again a little, and I've been following Bitcoin for a couple of years now, which is a pretty long time since Bitcoin's only been around for, I don't know, less than 5 years or 5 years at the most. I really don't know. I've seen this happen lots of times. And, this is why I didn't want to buy Bitcoin at first. Is because, I saw it at 30. I was like, oh, maybe I should get some. And then it jumped up to 60. I was like, I should have it at 30. And so it jumped up to like 70. It was at 70 for a while, actually. I got like 2 at 70. And then it jumped up to like, over 100. And I was like, oh my God, it got up to like 2 something. And then smash back down to 30. It does this. It does this. Don't get into Bitcoin if you want to make money right now, especially because it's wild, wild west right now in Bitcoin. This is the wild, wild west days of Bitcoin. Seriously. You can make a lot of money, but most likely you're going to lose a lot of money. Trust me. If you go into it to make money, I think you're going to be down. When I first got into Bitcoin, I was more intrigued by the network, the backbone. And that's why I'm going to talk about value. I'll get into the value of Bitcoin with this. About the transaction, about the encryption. And I saw this for something else other than something to make money or the value of it. I saw it as a new way of thinking for the internet. So when the internet came out, the newspapers companies looked at the internet and said, oh, it's a way to transfer. They didn't see it for something it is something that they were doing at the same time. It was transferring information from one place to another. They didn't see, that, you could save money in ink, paper, and manpower, and waste. And, not a lot of people are reading newspapers anymore because they did not see the value in the internet. And the value was the savings of all 3 things. Like the post office. The post office did the exact same thing. So with email. It's like going, yeah, maybe they were in denial. I think a lot of them were in denial. Just a lot of financial people are in denial right now about Bitcoin, the whole backbone. It's like, well, right now, if you want to transfer money around the world, you have to exchange. You have an exchange cost. You have a transfer cost. Uh, all that filing and all that stuff automatically done in Bitcoin. POS. I'm talking about point of sale here, not the other POS. But whenever you buy something with a credit card, it costs the store like 3%, well, around there. I'm probably overestimating. I don't know the exact cost. It might be 2.7. But yeah, if anybody knows, they can comment down below. But you get my point. And even if you're paying with cash right now, you're still paying that cost because they're just charging it anyway. Because most people are paying with a debit card or a credit card. That cost with Bitcoin is so much less. So the savings is the value. And that's one thing, I was reading something, the whole reason why this came out, I was reading something that said perceived value in Bitcoin. Well, if you don't see the value in savings, you're like the record companies looking at MP3s. When CDs came out, the packaging on the CDs were more than the CDs were to print. And that was something important to people back then, but, this generation, whole new generation, something old guys like me didn't see back then. I've always looked into the future and trying to forecast things to come. People don't want to store things anymore. They don't even want to touch things anymore. A lot of germophobics out there. That's the value in Bitcoin. You're not storing it. The blockchain's storing it. You're not touching it. You do have control over it if you have your private key, like we talked about in the wallet. But there's value there that people are not seeing. It's not only going to change the financial industry, it's going to change the legal industry. Because this is open source technology. You can use it for anything. Wait until contracts, the waste in the paper, the ink, and the manpower. Contracts. This is a public ledger. Open source. Peer-to-peer. Cut out the middleman. There's value in savings. MP3s. Perfect example. Hopefully you understood this rant, because, red tail doesn't make it understandable for everybody. And I know nobody's really watching this, but I expect, hopefully, I'll keep these up online, hopefully, for a while. I'm hoping these will be more of a historical thing about the Wild West of Bitcoin. And you'll see this later, and you'll hopefully appreciate the history lesson. Until next time, thanks for stopping by. Cheers. I'm Nor. Enjoy your Bitcoin. Enjoy your beer.